All right, so welcome back everybody who was watching at home. We are going to get into the assignment portion for our next video. And as far as style sheets limiting creativity, that's kind of something that you're going to need to think about and discuss in there. I have my own personal feelings on this, but I don't want to give that away too soon. I'll definitely put them in the discussion this week. But, some people do feel that it limits creativity, and some people are like you and say, I'm not exactly sure why. All right, you can't get into the week 2 discussion either. All right, good to know. I'm going to have to take a look at that because I am not sure what is going on. There's no reply button. All right, perfect. All right, I will have somebody take a look at that because I don't know what happened with the course. But until then, I'll definitely take care of it after our live session tonight. Until then, just hold tight and we'll take a look at our assignment. So I apologize to anybody else who was having any trouble with the discussion. And again, if you guys run into a problem and, like the reply button's not there or something like that, please let me know. Just send me a really quick email to let me know so that way I can get it looked at. I have a different view as an instructor than you guys do, and I don't notice things until I go into student view. And even then, sometimes things look wrong for me, but they look okay for you. So just make sure you're letting me know as soon as you guys notice. At least we figured it out on Monday, right? All right, so our objectives for part 2 of our menu design. We're going to be using the character panels to apply changes to font size, kerning, tracking, and leading. We're going to use the paragraph panel to adjust the text alignment, the space before and after, and if we need to add in any indents or things like that. You're going to use the rectangle, oval, and line tools to create a composition in InDesign. We're going to make sure that we're correctly resizing our images and, cropping them up by closing up those rectangle boxes like I showed you last week. Using a color palette, and then creating and applying those paragraph and style sheets to maintain consistency, so that way we've hit our 4 basic principles of design and our 5 basic elements of design. So you guys designed a menu, 2 different covers for week 1, and now what you're doing is you are going to pick, it's really up to you, which menu cover you feel is the strongest. And we will be duplicating that menu cover file and then renaming it for week 2. And then whichever page you decide not to use, we're going to delete that page and we're going to add in the actual menu and menu items. So again, make sure you're choosing the strongest of the 2 colors. And making any revisions to the cover per the critique that you got or per the comments that you got in your grading for week 1. So again, make sure that you're getting any late work in as soon as possible so that way I can get that feedback back to you so you can get started on week 2's assignment. So after you delete the page you're not going to be using, you'll be adding a new page to your InDesign document. And then you're going to create a menu layout for the restaurant. Remember, do not switch restaurants this week. Make sure that you're still using the same restaurant that you were using. We have to keep background color. It's really, the background color on the menu is really your choice. It's your design. So you need to use all of the text provided to you, at least 2 photos, paragraph style sheets, character style sheets. You need to make a couple of custom color swatches, and then you need to do tabs with leaders. Make sure that you're applying the CRAP principles, and then if you copy the layout from the example, your creativity score is going to be low. When you are finished with your design, you're going to create a package folder just like you did this last week, and then zip that folder and submit it. So if you're not sure if you have all of the assets for Maxwell's, if you chose Maxwell's, you can click here to re-download them. If you're, same thing with Starlight Bistro, you can click here to re-download them, and Walk and Roll, you can click here to re-download them. So let me go in to Mod 5. And this is what it should look like. If you are doing Maxwell's, you should have one, the Casada cake, the example of their original menu that they want redesigned, the example of their original cover that they want redesigned. They have a chef image, they have their logo, they have the text that you needed to use on the cover, and then here's their menu text. And then they have a shrimp photo, a steak photo, and I think that's it. So make sure that you are opening up that menu text. And I'm going to give you a hint here. In Word, when you open it up, go in between each item and the price and hit, select that space that's there and change it to a tab by hitting tab. Even if it looks like it puts it right on the word, don't worry about that. Just do just one tab. I'm going to do this for these ones. I'm going to use Maxwell's for my example of putting this together. As far as the prime beef in Maxwell's, you may want to do the tab. Remember proximity. You may want to do the tab between the dash and this, keep the ounces with the price again for proximity. And last one. And the reason why I'm doing this here is it's just going to make my life a little bit easier once I get into InDesign. What I also like to do when I'm in Microsoft Word is I like to think through, like, all right, you know what? I need to have at least 3 different styles in my head. I need a main header, I need the item names, and then I need the description. So those are going to be my 3 styles. So sometimes I like to use the headers that are available, or the styles that are available in Word, just so that way I can kind of have a visual in InDesign or in Word what sections I'm copying and then pasting into InDesign. So beginnings is a header. I'm going to change it to header 1, and then lobster bisque would be, I guess I can do header 2, and then the description of the lobster would be, maybe I'll do subtle emphasis, just so it looks a little bit different. So again, header 2, subtle emphasis, header 2, subtle emphasis. You don't need to do this, but like I said, you know what? I'm a visual person. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see, did I grab everything? And then from the C, that's a headline also. So I'm going to make that heading 1. This item is heading 2, and then this would be subtle emphasis. Heading 2. And then the USDA prime beef is a heading. These would be heading 2. Then we have specialties as a heading. This one has a description. So I'm just going to go right through it. Might take me, 2 minutes to do this, but again, it makes my life easier in the long run. Then heading again, heading 2, Every time I do this, I am so hungry by the time I'm done. I'm like, man, dessert. Totally use some dessert right now. All right, perfect. So you can kind of see, you know, all right, this is starting to look more like a layout, and it's giving me an idea going into InDesign how I should set this up. So let me go into my week 1 assignment, which I can find in week 1 in assignment instructor, my assignment. And what I want to do is open up my zipped folder in one browser window, one Finder window, and then I'm going to do another Finder window. So you can do new Finder window or just hit Command N or Control N. If you're on a PC, it's probably a little bit different to do a new Finder window. And I'm going to navigate over to week 2. And put it in here. And I'm going to click on just the InDesign document, and I'm going to hold down the Option key and drag over, and see how I get that plus sign if I'm on a Mac? That makes a copy of it. But the other thing you can do if you're not quite sure how to do that, or that seems really, whoops, I want to rename it before I open it up. Hold on one second. Let me close it again. If that seems really difficult to do, what you can do is just open up your assignment for week 1 and do a file, save as, and then go into week 2 assignment and save it right there. And then all you need to do is just change the 1 to a 2 and you're golden. And hit save. So kind of 2 different ways that you can do that. And I'll delete out the other one. All right, so first things first, we have duplicated our week 1 menu cover file. We have renamed it assignment 2. Next, I need to choose the strongest cover. And if you remember, I only did 1 cover last week. So therefore, I don't have one to choose from. I only have one to choose from. So what I'm gonna, but I'll pretend that page 2 was my not as strong, you know, cover. So there's 2 different ways that you could do this to delete page 2 or to delete page 1. You can go into pages and you can click on the page that you want to delete. Make sure you have that one selected and it's blue. See how this is blue? Make sure this is blue, page 2. And you can hit the trash can and that'll delete it. And then to add in a page, you just click on create new page and boom, it's there and it's a blank page. The other thing that you can do is with your black arrow, you can select absolutely everything on the page and then just hit delete. Really, either way is fine. You know, if you're worried you might miss something somewhere, just kind of trash the page. And if you accidentally trash the wrong page, that's why we did that save as assignment 2, because we can still go back into assignment 1 and grab the correct file if you screw up. So make sure you're doing that save as, so you have 2 copies of it. All right, so I'm going to make, I need to make 3 style sheets. One needs to be for my header, one, my main items header, one needs to be for my item names, and then one needs to be for the description. And then I also need to make one for those tabs that I did, because I'm going to make the price run to the edge of the page, and I'm going to put little dots in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the way that I do this, and I'm also going to show you 2 different versions of my menu. I'm going to show you one that has some font choices that might work for fine dining. And I'm going to show you one that has some font choices that might work for casual dining. So that way I can give you guys, you know, a little bit of a hand with this. All right. I'm not going to do it in any of the menus, however, that you guys have, so no one can copy and paste my menu. I actually have my own menu. Let me see which one I'm going to use. I'm just going to use the casual dining menu for both of them. So again, making sure that my tabs, they should already be here. It looks like they are. I'm not going to go through and do all of those headers again on this one just for time, basically. But some people like to set up their character and paragraph styles first. Other people, which I'm sure you're saying, well, how do I know what font size to make something? Other people like to do it afterwards. So whichever one, you know, you can edit them. So let's say you say, you know what, I just want to set these up and I'll see how it goes. And if I need to make adjustments on the font sizes or even maybe my font choices, I'll do that. And that's okay. I'm going to set them up first, and then I'll show you how to edit them. Now, I do know that I want my menu to be 2 columns. So I'm going to go up into layout, and I'm going to go up into margins and columns, and I'm going to change the number of columns from 1 to 2, but it puts a really small default gutter there, and I don't want my text in each column being too close to each other, so I'm going to change my gutter to 0.375. Again, proximity. I have 0.375 as my margin to the edge of the page. So I'm going to have 0.375 here, 0.375 here, and 0.375 here. Again, I'm thinking of that repetition. My crap principles always on my mind. And I'm going to draw just a text box up here, and I'm going to label this one fine dining, just so that way I know which one I'm working on. And then I'll draw one text box here. Oh, I forgot I'm opening up a different, that file I was working on last week that kept defaulting to align right. I trashed all of my preferences in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe InDesign this weekend. And then I crossed my fingers when I restarted the program that things were going to work properly. But because I copied and pasted that, that file from last week, I, wanted to, it's remembering all of my preferences, which were a little bit messed up. So I'm going to have to deal with this for one more week of just weird things happening with my InDesign. But as soon as I trashed those preferences, everything was working fine. So there was a little bit of, light whooping and jumping up and down after it finally worked correctly. All right. So the first thing I'm going to think about is my main headline, which are appetizers, entrees, and desserts. The 3 main food groups: appetizers, entrees, and desserts. So because this is fine dining, I kind of want to have a scripty font for that. So I'm going to create a new style by hitting, and I have my character styles open. If yours are not defaulted, I'm sorry, I should have said this first. If yours aren't defaulted to being open on the screen, go to Window, Styles, and select Character Styles, and it will usually open the paragraph style with it. If for some reason it did not, just go back into Window Styles and then manually open up paragraph styles as well. And it should keep them together in one tab. So to create a new style, you click on that new sheet of paper right here, and it's gonna name it Character Style 1, which will, when you have many, mean nothing to you. So you're gonna wanna double click, and the first thing you're gonna wanna do is rename it. I'm gonna name mine headers. And it's going to say basic character formats. What font would you like? Well, let's see. What font do I like? I think I'm going to try Allura. And I think I'm going to try it at 24-point type. And maybe make it that red that I created last week. Remember how I created that red and that gold? And I'll just leave it like that. I'm going to hit OK. And then my next style I need are my entree names. So I'm going to make another one, character style. Whoops, double click. You kind of have to click off to the side of the name, because if you double click within the name itself, all it's going to do is open up a dialog box where you just manually change the name, not manually change all of the options. This one's going to be entrees. And I'm going to go with, not Allura, I'm going to go with Garamond, bold, and maybe I'll try it at 16-point type. I'm going to do my letting as auto. My color, I'm going to do red. I don't know why it's auto-selecting random things for me. Oh, I do know why, never mind. It's because it was basing it on my first one that I made. And I'll hit OK. Next, my third one is going to be my item description. So I'm going to create a new style, double click. I'm going to base it on entrees, which is fine. And this one's going to be Garamond, but it's just going to be italic. And it's going to be, we'll try 14-point type. And for my font color for this one, I'm just going to go with black. And I don't know. I'm going to leave the letting as auto right now. We'll see how that goes. So let's see. Fine dining. Change that to this header. Yeah, it's an okay font. I think I'm going to need the font size a little bit bigger though. But I won't know until I bring in my menu items. And then I do need to make one paragraph style, which is going to be my tabs. But I'm going to do that last after I import in my menu text. So you'll notice I have two different text boxes here. So I'm going to show you a magic trick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to show you something that, again, is going to, in the long run, make your life a whole lot easier. You know what? I am all about making your life easier as a graphic designer and showing you the little tips and tricks that nobody showed me along the way that I really wish they did. I'm going to copy and paste my entire menu. Just do a Command A and a Command C. Go into this first text box, and I'm going to paste it in, so I can do either Edit, Paste, or Command V. And you'll notice it runs to the bottom of the text box, and it's giving me this red box with a plus sign in it. So what you want to do is, with your black arrow, you want to click on the text box, then click on the plus sign, and see how it gives me like almost like a preview of the paragraph with a little lock symbol. I'm then going to click into this text box, and this is going to wrap my text all the way around. So when I start to change things, such as my font for my header, which I do not want to be all caps in Word. Yes, it was. I need to fix that. Boo. It'd probably just be easier to type it out. All caps in a script is a big no-no. Okay, so I've got appetizers, entrees, and to make that little E with the, I don't know what it's called, the thing on top, you hold down Option Option E, and it gives you the thing, and then just hit the E again, and it puts it on top of the E. Another little trick that nobody ever taught me. I had to Google a million times to figure out myself. And then DESSERT. Dessert, not desert. There we go. Next, I'll go back up here and I'm gonna select this line, and this is my entree line. So see how quick this is? Imagine if you kept going up into the font list, changing the font size, changing this, changing that each time instead of just clicking one button. It's way easier to click just one button. Trees. Let me start to close some of these things up and get them out of the way. Baked chocolate chip cookie skillet. Yum. Then we have 3-course meal. That's the entree. And then I have this information right here, cook to order, blah, 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 blah. Normally, I would just make this small type, but because you guys don't have anything like that in your menu, I'm just gonna delete it from my menu. And then I have this little trademark symbol right here, and that's fine, but it's kind of big. So up here, you'll notice how it shows a T with a little 1 next to it. I'm going to hit that button, and it just makes it smaller and makes it, was that the exponent, I believe, of it. And then, I want to edit some of these returns here. I really want to, you know, kind of start to work with these returns. So I'm going to manually take them out. I'm going to leave the one in between each of the sections, but I'm going to take them out of the actual items. And then I'm going to delete the one here because I'm going to keep desserts up at the top of the page. So these line up, and take that one out. And the next one I want to do is I'm going to open up, if it's not already open, my paragraph, not my style, just paragraphs, which is under type in tables, paragraph. I think it was right here. No, I don't want to try the, thank you. Thank you, InDesign. I'm all set with the border right now though. And I want to add a, you know, paragraph spacing between my different items. So there's kind of 2 different ways that you can do this. You can double click on the basic paragraph here and under paragraph styles, and you can kind of do it in here. I gotta find where it is. Formats, advanced, indents, first line indent. We can hit preview. I just want to make sure I'm in the right one. Nope. Whoops. Space. Oh, here we go. Space after. Yeah, maybe, yeah. 0.125, but I don't want it for every single one. This is where you're going to need to make some design choices. So because I only want it at the end of each description, which I never renamed that, descriptions. Hit OK. Let me see if I can change in here, and I don't believe I can. So I'm going to actually make a paragraph style based on my descriptions character style, and I'll add in that spacing there. If you only needed it for like one, I would tell you to just manually go into paragraph and do it. So let's make a new paragraph style 1, And it's going to be based on, oh, they used to let you base it on a character style, but it's not letting me. But I have this selected so it remembers what it is. So 14-point size. I'm going to name it description. Make sure everything else stayed the same. And I want my space after to be, maybe I should go with the 0.0625. That looks all right. I didn't want to run over into the next line. All right. So I don't need it here, but I need to select this text, change it to description. Come on. Just should have added it. Why did it add it here? Oh, it did. It's just, it's a little bit more subtle than I thought it was. And right there. And then I've got this one. And it's because these items are running into the next line, and I think it's my point size is a little bit too big. So I'm going to change this to be the exponent. And which one probably is the bigger? This line's the biggest. So let's go over into that character style, into my entrees. And again, this is where you can start to change things. I'm going to click the preview button so I can watch what I'm doing. And what happens when I make it 15-point type? That works much better. Okay. And then I can actually, that gives me a little bit of space to make my headers a little bit bigger because I felt like those should be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go in. And, oops, wrong way. Make them 32. Looks good, and I definitely need spacing here. So because I don't have a lot of different headers, I'm going to manually add in some spacing, some 0.125 spacing. I've only got the 3. In paragraph. So it's the same thing I did with the style, but ooh, and I've got this is on the next line, but that's okay. That's going to be okay. All right, so the only thing I have left to do as far as a style goes now is I need to make a style that's going to tab my prices all the way to the edge of my text boxes, and it's going to put dots in between. So this is easier to do if you can kind of preview it while you're doing, and this might be one of the most difficult things that you do. I'm going to select the first line, and it needs to be done in the paragraph style, not the character style. And I'm going to make a new style, double click, I'm going to say tabs, not tans, tabs. And I'm going to go down to tabs. And you will notice that there is a ruler right here. So I'm going to show you the 3 or the 4 different ways that you can set this up. You can align things to the left, which let me just hit OK, and I'm actually going to select everything so you can watch it happen. So kind of watch the 829 and the 799 there. If I align them left, you'll notice I click on that lighter gray part of the ruler, and it's giving me this little left justified arrow. And wherever I let up, it lines those items, the tabbed items up on the left. So I can drag, click and drag that arrow again. You need to make sure you're selecting it. And maybe I want them to be left aligned at 3 inches. So 3 inches in from the left of all the text boxes. And then it would move it down here, but it's on the next line. Or what I can do is I can have it aligned to the center. So now it's the center of those prices. You'll notice though, that doesn't work for the $12.99. They're not really lined up if I use center. I find when working with prices, right justified is the best way to go. It lines it up to the last decimal or the last number on the, on the price. So I'm going to drag this right to the edge, which the white kind of tab at the end is the edge of my text box. So you can kind of see where that line is moving within the text box, and then let go. And to add in the periods where it says liter, that means it's going to fill it in with whatever you put there. I'm just going to put in a period and then kind of just click off. And now you can see everything is right aligned and it fills it in with the appropriate number of periods or dots in there. And I'll just hit OK, except for this one, the big chocolate chip cookie skillet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Shift and Enter, because if I hit regular Enter and I have too many, I have a paragraph space there, let's say, it would add it between my items. I don't want to do that. So always, just in case, hit Shift Enter. And there we go. That takes care of that. And somehow my description fell off when I was doing something. Oh, because I hit, never mind, I know why. Because I hit Command A on the tabs. So I gotta go back in and hit the description one to move them all back down. Normally, I would make the tab in the line, but I just wanted to show you what was going on. So you might have to do what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, same thing with my appetizer. I lost my, oh boo. 0.125. 0.125 and 0.125. There we go. So as you can see, I have some font choices that would really work for fine dining here. Now I can do something similar to what I did on the cover. I can, copy maybe my background down here by just clicking on it, doing edit copy, or Command C. Go back down here, click on page 2, so I'm sure, and hit edit paste. Or you can do paste in place, and it'll put it right up to the same line, so you don't have to worry, and behind the items. And then maybe I want to use a lighter gold color. So where are my swatches? Here you are. Maybe with a 30% tint. Won't be able to see it. 40% tint. And I'll just draw a box a little bit off from the actual items. So I have some space here on the sides and it's not right up to the edge. If you want to double check everything, oops, go to preview, and it kind of shows it without all the borders on it. And then what else can I do? Ooh, I can add a cookie photo that I have. So I'm going to draw the box because I want it to stay within this column. So I'm going to draw my rectangle box first. Go to edit, paste. I mean place. Where are you? Edit. Place. I know I'm looking right at it. No, edit place. Command D. Where's Command D? Duplicate. Am I losing my mind? I'm losing my mind because it's Monday. Here we go. File place. Sorry about that. When you use quick keys all the time like me, and then you go into the drop down, you're like, hold on. I know exactly where this is. So I have a cookies photo I had already downloaded and select it. And again, I'm going to go to Object, Fitting, and I want to fit content proportionally. And I can even, maybe I'll, whoops. Bring that to the front. I must be on a different layer. Oh, I accidentally placed my cookie on the background layer. That is what's going on here. Hold on. All right. Select that. Command X. Go to layer 2. Right click, paste in place. There we go. And I'm just gonna manually crop this right in InDesign. I'm gonna kind of crop it right up to those cookies. And then I'm going to enlarge it. So I'm going to hold down Shift, Command, and click and drag. And that's going to manually enlarge that. And then I have some extra space right here. So I think I'm going to add in another one, or maybe, ooh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this item. I'm going to hit Command X. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't hit Command X. What am I thinking? Here we go. I'm going to actually close up this text box to right here, and I'll get a red square again. I can move my cookies up, and I can draw another text box right here. Black arrow, click on the text box, click on the red and white arrow, or red and white plus sign, and move it down here. So now it's still part of this whole system here. And then I can put my other dessert image down here. So again, designing on the fly. File place, not edit place. Do my cupcakes. Yeah, people probably are getting hungry over there. I'm getting hungry. Go to Object, Fitting. I want to fit content proportionally. And then again, I'm going to close it up a little. And I'm going to hold down Shift and Command at the same time. I'm going to click and drag from this edge. And click and drag from this edge. And then I'll just, again, close this up. Whoops. Close it up to here, just the box, and whew, those look good. All right. And if this was an actual headline over my menu, I would probably make this a little bit bigger, make it stand out a little bit more, things like that. I might do something fancy, like, oh, I'll show you something fancy that you can do. So I'm going to draw a square that is going to run right through the word. I want it to be, not have any color inside of it, however. Swatches, none for you. And I want it to have a red border, my red border. And I'm going to drag it down here. And I want to make sure that it is horizontally centered. So I'm going to click my background and that box I just drew and go into Align, which doesn't appear to be open right now. Window. Objects and Layout, Align. Oh, it was open. Whoops. And then I'm going to put this. Oh, I knew there was going to be one thing I would run into, and it's my options for my zoom. It's defaulted back to scrubby zoom, and I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. I'm going to click on this one, and I want it to be right kind of in the center of where the cut line is and where my margin is, or where this box I just drew is. So I'm going to put it right there. And then up here, I want it to be right in the center of the word fine dining. That looks good. All right, so I'm going to open up, and this is a little bit advanced, but I'm going to go to Objects and Layout, and pull up my Pathfinder tool, which is right here. And I'm going to draw another square on top of the word fine dining, and I'm going to kind of center it over that word. It doesn't matter what color it is. And I'm going to click on that box, and I'm going to click on my border I just drew. And I want to do the wrong one. No, come on. That one, I believe. Yes, and then go to my white arrow, click there, click there, click there, click off, click there, 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 and there. So I have this nice little border that runs around my word. Click on that and make it a little bit bolder. There we go. It just adds a little finishing touch to it. And again, I'm going to preview it and see what that looks like. Looks nice. So I will save it. Save and save often. Now, let's say that you were doing a casual dining restaurant. I am going to just go up into my pages, and I'm going to just make a duplicate of page 2. And all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to change the fonts and make this more of a casual dining feel. So in my character panel, what I can do is I can right click on headers and duplicate that style. And I'm going to name it headers. I'm going to put cash for each of them and hit OK. Same thing, right click on entrees, duplicate the style. And I'm going to say casual. Okay. And my descriptions. Casual. Go into my paragraphs. My tabs I can probably leave alone, but this description I need to duplicate. Again, casual. And I'll do the description first. So I'm going to double click, go to my character formats, and I'm going to change it from Garamond. I'm going to change it to Avenir. But I'm going to keep it italic. I might need to go down a point size though, because Avenir is a little bit of a wider font. And let's grab these and try. Am I on the right page? Oh, we have to do the same thing here. Change it to Avenir. There we go. And then I need to go down maybe to 13 point. I don't think they'll, even 12. I might need to do 12-point type for that one. Let's see. Grab all of my descriptions. And that one. All right, and then I'm going to make my entrees, whoops, my entrees right here, also Avenir but bold. So let me go to entrees cash. I'm gonna change it to Avenir bold, or heavy maybe? Yeah, we'll try heavy, and okay. And then again, just switch them. And this is why those character styles are great, because what if your client all of a sudden says, you know what, maybe we should go with a casual feel. Isn't it so much easier to just edit your character styles than redo your entire menu? And we have to change that font size. It's a little bit too big. $14, that works. And then I need to change my header as well. Whoops. Click out before you click on that. So my header, I think I'm going to use Rockwell. Do I have Rockwell on here? Yes, I do. And I might need to change that font size. And I can go back to being all caps. So character formats. Should. Okay, so there we go. And might need to just change a couple of little things to kind of rebalance my layout a little bit. I might change the amount of space in here, maybe to 0.125. Oops, that lost my tab. Hold on. Tab. There we go. Because I only want the space after the description. And again, I'm going to move the word red to the next line, Shift Enter, and the word vegetable all onto one line. And then this is the last one I think I'll need to do. So bump that down, and I'll just close up this box a little bit to move 3-course meal back down where it goes, and I can recenter my cookie in the middle. And then change up here to casual dining. And with my white arrow, I can kind of zoom in and select this line. Oops. Move it over. I'm holding down Shift, so I'm making sure it stays straight. And I'll change this font. Move that down. All right, so that one's good. Oh, I hate the scrubby zoom. I gotta fix that. For some reason, a couple of years ago, Adobe changed how things zoom in all of their programs to this thing. Yes, you can take a hunger break called Scrubby Zoom. It's been a nightmare ever since they did that. All right, and then I'll save this. So you can see just by changing my fonts, and I would probably not have this be gold, this background. I would probably change this to maybe what? Maybe white or something, make it stand out, a little bit bolder of a background here. Maybe instead of having an, you know, the actual image there, maybe I'm just gonna make it a solid color. Oops. Something like that. So it's got a little bit more of a, almost like a sports vibe, sports bar feel to it. Really bold and in your face. So this menu right here has way different of a feeling than this menu right here. Yet they have the same exact menu items. So you can see how just your font choices and even some of your color choices can change the entire feel of a menu. These even have the same layout. Pretty crazy. All right, so I'm gonna save these and we're gonna go over packaging your file again and making those PDFs again for printout. So I'm going to, I'm probably gonna need to make my PDF presets. Oh no, it remembered them, even though I cleared out my preferences. So weird. Oh, because I'm in an old file. That's right, I'm in an old file. All right, so I'm gonna do File, Package. Make sure that there's nothing missing. My fonts look okay, images look okay, colors look okay. I'll hit the Package button, Continue. And I'm going to navigate, make sure I'm in week 2, the assignment. And I can just keep it as DES 105, assignment 2, S. McNamara folder. I want to select the PDF preset of the all printer marks that I made last week. So if you didn't make your preset, refer back to last week's live session video. Then I'm going to hit the Package button. It's going to give me warning, warning. I'm just going to say, okay, it's fine. And it's going to package my document. Create the PDF. All right, and then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to zip that file. Oops, I meant to just close it, but I could have the whole program. That works too. All right, double check your your PDF and everything. Make sure everything looks good before you send it up. So first page, fine dining, casual dining, looks good. Now, this is where people might have been having a little bit of trouble. When you are making your zip file, you might have been in Show as Items, which is very difficult to see. You have a couple of different views in the Finder. I do not like this view because I can't read all of my folders. My favorite view is the second one over where it puts everything in a list. However, if you are in this option and you are trying to click and make your package file, you may have accidentally zipped or if you're trying to zip your package file, you may have accidentally selected in the folder and just zipped one of the files inside of the folder instead of selecting the entire folder itself. So change it to the view, the list view, and make sure that you have the whole folder selected, not just an item inside of it. And you can either right click if you have a 2-button mouse and go to compress, or hold down Control and click and go to compress if you are on a Mac. If you are on a PC, I believe it's also right-clicking and hitting zip, but you're going to need to double check for yourself because I don't have a PC that I'm working off of to show you. And I can't remember off the top of my head which it is. And then you have that zip folder. And this is where we'll double check if I can even upload things. Let me make sure you guys can submit your assignment. You'll go to Submit Assignment, choose your file. Make sure you're in the correct week. Go to week 2. The folder you made, find your zip folder, click Open. Then we'll try to add another file, the PDF. We'll make sure it's working today. And if not, I'll try to fix it again. Open. Oh, it let us. And then Submit Assignment. And it will submit it. Oh yes, it says zip and PDF up here. It's probably gonna use up all my bandwidth to do this. Normally I just pretend to show you, but I accidentally hit the button. All right, so again, week 2, well, that's submitting. Make sure you are watching all of the videos in the course media, doing your discussion, doing your assignment, and doing your quiz, your assessment. There's 13 questions. There is no time limit, so you can, you know, don't navigate away from the quiz, but you can open up a new tab, navigate back to the readings and videos if you can't find, if you're not 100% sure on the answer. Double check yourself before you you submit that answer, and make sure everything looks good before you submit your quiz. Make sure that you are, there we go, make sure that you are doing everything this week. Also, if you are only going off of what shows up in your to-do and you've done your first, you know, topic for the discussion for week 2, and you need to go back into the discussion, but it's not showing up in your to-do anymore, you can get to it right through the homepage by going either clicking on week 2 or clicking on the discussion right in week 2, those buttons. All right, so before we end tonight, does anybody have any questions? I know we went over a lot, so you're probably going to want to both reference back to this live session video, and there is a week 2 video that goes over in detail just the paragraph style sheets and just the character style sheet. So make sure you're watching both of those as well. But any other questions before we end? Other than, does everybody want cookies now? And if no, that is okay. Yeah, I definitely want cookies now too. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for coming, you guys, and let your fellow classmates know that we try to have some fun in here to join us in the live sessions. All right, I will be available for your multi-sessions this week. Just check your BAT time and your BAT schedule, and I will see you all again next week. Have a great rest of your week. Night.